This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Tondalela Woolfolk, a former member of both the Harlem and Chicago BPP chapters, admitted she kind of romanticized the whole thing, to die in the revolution, to die to make things right. If that meant that all kinds of power and repression were going to come down with me, fine. Everybody dies anyway, she said. These women's seriousness about armed struggle had gone unparalleled since Harriet Tubman rescued her family and other slaves from the South. Gloria Abernathy, a former Panther in the Sacramento and Oakland chapters, echoed these sentiments. She said she believed being a Panther represented a lifelong commitment, and that she didn't expect to live long because of the group's revolutionary posture. She concluded it was just going to be war, and whatever came up, that's what I would do. Perhaps Elaine Brown best captured these sentiments when she pointed out that being in the party meant committing your life and surrendering something of ourselves because we believed that the struggle we were involved in would take our lives. In many ways, it was this paramilitary aspect of the party that inspired the women. As Brown noted, people in the group saw themselves as part of a whole and part of an entire process, and that you were a soldier in the army. Party member Sheba Haven noted that she came into the party because she wanted the black liberation movement to succeed. The police apparently understood these sentiments since they treated Panther women with the same contempt as they did the men. This gender visibility is another one of the characteristics that separated Panthers from other militant groups of the era. This group, while not destroying racism and sexism, helped to create a forum where these issues could at least be discussed. By doing this, Panther leaders and rank-and-file workers were able to recruit females as well as males. Many of these women, while they worked to overthrow the system, did not believe that this change would occur without violent struggle. To illustrate this belief, rank-and-file member Akua Njeri pointed out in her memoir that we couldn't vote for our freedom. This was the government that was set up and protected by our enemies. Basing her conclusions on history, this Panther must have assumed whites would continue to find ways to foil the power of the black vote. She seriously questioned whether such a government was going to let blacks vote their freedom and take over this system. Seattle Panther Vanetta Molson echoed these sentiments when she noted that the BPP wanted to unite and mobilize all oppressed peoples around the world, since you can't vote him out because the only people you get to vote for are pigs. Njeri, Molson, and many of their party sisters thought it imperative that poor and minority people recognize that they were under attack and therefore seriously at war with the American government. Convinced that their struggle was first and foremost a struggle for survival, Panther women became indispensable not only to the BPP, but to the larger civil rights movement as well. Having taken their positions as keepers of the dream in the most radical of the Black Power era groups, Panther women left no doubt they were willing to bring about change by any means necessary. Kathleen Cleaver pointed out in a Black Panther editorial that the decision to resort to defensive violence in pursuit of this change stemmed directly from the persistence of white racism and the power structure's use of guns and bullets to keep blacks in their place. The revolutionary-turned-lawyer further explained that she could not relate to a white man and that her hostility towards white men was unyielding and profound because black women had been raped and brutalized and tortured and used by the white man. She argued that there would be no need for an organization like the BPP if there were only white racists without political power and without guns. Kathleen Cleaver could speak as well as her husband Eldridge, if not better. Perhaps that is why she became the party's communications secretary. Together, the two were able to persuade thousands of people that the oppression blacks had endured for centuries needed to end. Indeed, her husband's speaking ability made him the most visible person in the party for a while. That Eldridge Cleaver could speak articulately